Hello everyone, Anna here from Virgo. So my friends, someone can't shut up about you and it's getting pathetic. They're telling anyone who listen that you've bewitched them, that they can't function, that you're all they think about. This is getting messy in the best possible way. Stay here. Love spell language reveals specific psychology. When someone describes their feelings as being under your spell, they're communicating that they've lost control, that their attraction feels involuntary, that they experience you as having power over them they didn't consent to and can't resist. And this framing does two things simultaneously. It acknowledges the intensity of what they're feeling while also absolving them of responsibility for that feeling. Because if you've spelled them, if you've enchanted them, if you've done something to them rather than them just feeling something about you, then the intensity isn't their fault, isn't their choice, is something happening to them that they're powerless to prevent. This is bullshit, obviously. You didn't spell them. You didn't do anything except exist as yourself, be yourself, move through your life while they observed you and their brain decided you were irresistible, decided you were everything they wanted, decided you were a person they couldn't live without, even though they barely know you or they know you, but never bothered to actually pursue you properly before, and now they're drowning in feelings they don't know how to handle. But the spell language is telling, is revealing, is showing you that what they're experiencing is so intense it feels supernatural, feels beyond normal attraction, feels like you've done something to them, because normal people don't create this level of obsession just by existing, right? Wrong. You do create this level of obsession just by existing because you're you, because something about your energy or your essence or your particular combination of qualities hits their system like drug, activates receptors they didn't know they had, creates craving that won't be satisfied by anyone else because you're not interchangeable, you're not replaceable. Your specific magic that their particular pathology responds to with this mad obsession they can't control. And they're telling others not keeping it private, not suffering in dignified silence. They're broadcasting their obsession to anyone who listen, making their fixation on you public knowledge, risking looking foolish, risking being mocked, risking your rejection, being witnessed by everyone they've told about their feelings, because the need to talk about you exceeds the need to protect their pride. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's not performance. People who fake intensity keep it private because private intensity can be controlled, can be turned on and off strategically. Public intensity can't be faked sustainably because you have witnesses, you have people who notice. If you suddenly stop being obsessed after claiming you were under someone's spell, you have accountability that prevents you from playing games. Let me show you exactly what they're saying and what it means for you. First, they're romanticizing their obsession to anyone who'll listen. I can't stop thinking about them. They're in my head constantly. I dream about them. I see them everywhere, even when they're not there. It's like they've taken over my entire mind, and I don't even mind, because thinking about them feels better than thinking about anything else. This confession is vulnerability wrapped in romanticism. They're admitting loss of control, but framing it as beautiful, as desirable, as evidence of depth of feeling, rather than as concerning symptom of unhealthy fixation. And maybe it is beautiful. Maybe it is genuine love expressing itself as total absorption. Or maybe it's obsession that needs boundaries, that needs reality check, that needs them to get grip before they do something that crosses line from flattering to frightening. The people they're telling are probably divided in their reactions. Some think it's sweet, think it's romantic, think they should pursue you because feelings this strong must mean something. Others think it's concerning, think they're losing it. They think they need to calm down before they scare you off or before they build you up so much in their imagination that real you can't possibly live up to fantasy version they've been worshiping from distance. But divided reactions don't stop them from talking. They need to talk about you, need to process their feelings out loud, need witnesses to the intensity they're experiencing because keeping it entirely internal feels like it would explode them. So they talk and talk and talk until people are probably sick of hearing about you, until your name becomes synonym for their obsession, until everyone they know is aware that they're gone over you, completely consumed, head over heels in ways that would be embarrassing if they had any embarrassment left, but they don't because you've stripped that away somehow. Second, they're crediting you with supernatural power you don't actually possess. They've bewitched me, cast a spell, put something in my drink, metaphorically, that makes me unable to think straight when they're around. This supernatural framing is their attempt to explain intensity that feels inexplicable through normal framework. Because rationally, they know people don't cast spells. Rationally, they know attraction is chemistry and psychology and projection and 1,000 mundane factors that neuroscience could probably map. But it doesn't feel mundane. It feels magical. It feels like you have powers. It feels like you've done something to them that makes them yours, whether you intended to claim them or not. And by telling others you've spelled them, they're accomplishing several things. They're explaining why they're acting out of character, why they're pursuing someone they normally wouldn't pursue, why they're behaving in ways that don't match their usual patterns. They're building narrative where their obsession becomes your responsibility somehow, where if anything goes wrong, it's because you enchanted them, you made them feel things, you created this situation by being irresistible. This isn't entirely fair. You didn't ask to be put on pedestal. You didn't request supernatural attribution. You didn't create their obsession deliberately. You just existed, and they decided that existing was witchcraft, that being yourself was enchantment, that your natural state was spell you cast. That's their interpretation, their projection, their need to make sense of feelings that exceed their normal range and therefore must be explained through metaphor of magic, since mundane explanations feel insufficient. Third, they're positioning themselves as victim of your appeal rather than as agent pursuing you. I can't help it. I'm helpless. I'm under their spell. I have no choice but to want them this badly. This victim positioning is strategic, whether they know it or not. It generates sympathy. It makes people root for them. It creates narrative where you saying yes would be kindness, would be mercy, would be releasing them from torment of wanting you without having you. And it removes their accountability for intensity that might be inappropriate, might be disproportionate to actual relationship you have, might be them building entire fantasy on foundation of minimal actual interaction because they're obsessed with idea of you rather than reality of you. Watch this framing. Watch whether they're using spell language to avoid taking responsibility for their feelings, for their choices, for their behavior. Watch whether "I can't help it" becomes excuse for crossing boundaries, for not respecting your no if you say no, for treating their desire as more important than your autonomy because they're under your spell and therefore can't be expected to control themselves, to respect your wishes, to accept rejection gracefully. Healthy obsession, if such thing exists, includes taking responsibility. I'm completely gone over you, and I'm choosing to pursue that feeling responsibly, with respect for your boundaries, with awareness that my intensity is mine to manage, not yours to accommodate. Unhealthy obsession uses spell language to justify boundary violations. I can't help myself. You've bewitched me. Therefore, whatever I do is your fault for being irresistible. This reflection invites you to consider, based on what you know of this person, does their obsession feel safe and flattering, or does it feel potentially concerning? Now let me address what mad obsession head over heels and love combination means. Those are three different things that often get conflated, but that exist on spectrum, from healthy to unhealthy, depending on how they manifest. Head over heels is infatuation, is butterflies and excitement and everything being more colorful when you're around. This is normal early stage attraction. This is brain chemistry doing its job of creating attachment bonds. This can be beautiful, can develop into sustainable love if given time and reality testing. In love is deeper, is caring about their well-being, is wanting their happiness even when their happiness doesn't include you, is seeing them as full person rather than as object of desire, is combination of attachment and genuine care that makes you invested in them thriving, not just in them being yours. Mad obsession is potentially problematic, is inability to focus on anything else, is thoughts about them becoming intrusive rather than pleasant, is fixation that interferes with normal functioning, is you occupying so much mental space that responsibilities suffer, that other relationships deteriorate, that their life becomes about you to exclusion of everything else. The person talking about you is experiencing all three. The question is, which dominates? If head over heels and love dominate, if obsession is just colorful language for intensity that's still within healthy range, then you have someone who's genuinely smitten, who wants you badly, who's willing to risk looking foolish by publicly declaring feelings before knowing if they're reciprocated. But if mad obsession dominates, if the other elements are overshadowed by fixation that's compulsive, that's resistant to reason, that continues even when you set boundaries or express disinterest, then you have a concerning situation that needs careful navigation. And here's how you tell the difference. Healthy, intense attraction respects your no. If you're not interested, if you set boundary, if you ask for space, healthy attraction respects that, even though respecting it hurts. Unhealthy obsession escalates when you set boundaries, interprets your no as obstacle to overcome, as challenge, as something to push against until it becomes yes, because in their mind, being under your spell means they can't accept rejection, can't walk away, can't respect your autonomy if your autonomy means they don't get you. So test it if you need to test it. Set small boundary and see what happens. If they respect it gracefully, you're dealing with healthy intensity. If they push back, if they make you feel guilty, if they escalate their pursuit despite your clear signal that you need space, you're dealing with obsession that might become problem. This reflection invites you to consider, if this person confessed directly to you tomorrow, would you be excited or uncomfortable? And what creates that response? Let me address what you should do knowing someone's telling others they're under your love spell. First, decide how you actually feel about them, not how you think you should feel, not how flattering their obsession is, how you actually feel about them as potential partner, as person you'd want to date, as human you're attracted to beyond being attracted to their attraction to you. Because being desired feels good. Being obsessed over feels powerful. Being described as someone who casts spells feels validating. But those feelings aren't same as actually wanting the person who's obsessed. Don't confuse enjoying their attention with wanting relationship with them. Don't mistake ego gratification for genuine interest. If you want them, if their intensity is matched by your interest, then their public declaration makes your response easier. You can reach out knowing they're already invested, already willing to risk rejection, already positioning themselves as someone who wants you badly enough to look foolish. You have power in this dynamic. Use it wisely. Don't abuse it. Don't exploit their vulnerability for entertainment. If you don't want them, if their obsession doesn't create reciprocal feeling, then you have responsibility to be clear about that if they approach you directly. Don't let them keep telling others they're under your spell without addressing it, if addressing it becomes necessary, because they've made it too public, too uncomfortable, too much part of your social reality. Second, set boundaries if their behavior crosses lines. Being obsessed is one thing. Acting on obsession in ways that violate your privacy or your comfort is another. If they're showing up uninvited, if they're contacting you excessively, if they're using mutual friends to get information about you, if they're making you feel monitored or pressured, establish clear boundaries. I'm aware you have feelings. I need you to respect my space while I figure out how I feel. Or if you already know you're not interested, I don't share romantic feelings. I need you to stop pursuing me. Clear, direct. Not mean, but not ambiguous. Ambiguity with obsessed people is cruel because it gives them hope where no hope exists, keeps them stuck in waiting, keeps them telling others about their spell when spell is just their own feelings that you can't reciprocate. Third, protect yourself if obsession feels threatening rather than flattering. Not everyone who claims to be under love spell is safe. Not everyone who's head over heels respects boundaries. If you feel unsafe, if their intensity crosses into stalking, into aggression, into anything that makes you genuinely afraid, take it seriously. Tell people you trust. Document concerning behavior. Don't dismiss your discomfort as overreaction. Trust your gut. Gut knows when someone's intensity is dangerous rather than just intense. Listen to it. This reflection invites you to consider what action, if any, do you need to take regarding this person's public obsession. Someone's telling others you've spelled them. They're mad obsessed, head over heels, completely gone. Your name is on their lips constantly. They've made you center of their world. What you do with this information is your choice. Receive it gracefully if you want them. Decline it clearly if you don't. Protect yourself if their obsession feels unsafe. But know that you have power here. You're the one they're obsessed with. You're the one who determines what happens next. Use that power wisely. Their obsession is their responsibility. Your response is yours. Choose what serves you, not what serves their fantasy. You didn't cast any spell. You just existed as yourself. That was apparently enough to enchant them completely. Now decide what to do with someone who's enchanted.